December 2024, Turkish Airlines announces a $100 billion expansion plan. The headlines focus on passenger growth, new destinations, fleet orders. But buried in the details is something more interesting. This isn't just about flying more people, it's about cargo. Specifically, it's about transforming Turkish Cargo into one of the world's dominant freight operators. And if you know anything about aviation economics, that should get your attention. Because while passenger airlines struggled through COVID, cargo kept flying. While Lufthansa and British Airways hemorrhaged cash, freight operators posted record profits. Turkish Airlines watched this happen, and now they're making a massive bet that cargo isn't just a side business anymore. It's the future. So how does a $100 billion plan centered on cargo actually work? And more importantly, can Turkish pull this off without repeating the mistakes that sank airlines like Thai Airways? Let's start with what Turkish Airlines actually announced. The plan runs through 2053, nearly 3 decades of expansion. The headline number, $100 billion, breaks down across fleet renewal, cargo infrastructure, new hubs, and technology investments. But here's what matters. Turkish Cargo is getting dedicated freighter aircraft, not just belly space on passenger planes. They're building out Istanbul Airport as a dedicated cargo superhub, and they're targeting routes where cargo demand is exploding, not where passengers want to fly. This is a fundamental shift in thinking. For decades, airlines treated cargo as bonus revenue. You fly passengers, and whatever fits in the belly hold is extra profit. Turkish Airlines is flipping that model. They're building a cargo network first and letting passenger operations support it. The timing makes sense. Global air freight grew 13.6% in 2024, according to IATA. E-commerce is driving demand. Supply chains are fragmenting. Companies want faster, more reliable shipping than ocean freight provides, and Turkish Airlines sits in the perfect geographic position to capitalize on this. Istanbul is within 4 hours flying time of 1.5 billion people. It connects Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. For cargo, that's gold. But geography alone doesn't guarantee success. Plenty of airlines have prime locations and still failed at cargo. So what's different about Turkish's approach? First, they're committing serious capital, not token investment, not a few converted passenger planes. We're talking purpose-built freighters. The plan reportedly includes orders for Boeing 777 freighters and potentially Airbus A350 freighters when they become available. These aren't small aircraft. A 777F can carry over 100 tons of cargo. That's the kind of capacity you need to move high-value goods, electronics, pharmaceuticals, perishables across continents. Second, Turkish Cargo is already profitable. This isn't a startup operation. They've been running dedicated freighters since 2017. They already serve over 120 cargo destinations. Revenue in 2023 reportedly hit $2.2 billion. This expansion isn't building from zero, it's scaling what already works. Third, Istanbul Airport was designed with cargo in mind. The new airport, which opened in 2018, has dedicated cargo terminals, room for expansion, and infrastructure that older European hubs lack. Heathrow is slot-constrained. Frankfurt's cargo capacity is limited. Istanbul can grow. Compare this to how passenger-focused expansion typically works. Airlines order planes, hope demand materializes, and pray that yields stay high enough to cover costs. Cargo is different. You can see demand in real time. Freight forwarders book space months in advance. Rates are published. There's less guesswork. But there are risks, big ones. The first risk is overcapacity. Air freight capacity globally has been growing faster than demand in some markets. If too many airlines flood routes with freighters, rates collapse. We saw this happen in 2023 when cargo rates dropped 30 to 40% from pandemic highs. Turkish Airlines is betting that long-term growth will absorb new capacity. But if China's economy slows further, or if e-commerce growth plateaus, those freighters become expensive assets generating minimal revenue. The second risk is competition. Turkish Cargo isn't alone in seeing this opportunity. Emirates SkyCargo operates one of the world's largest freighter fleets. Qatar Airways Cargo is expanding aggressively. Even DHL and FedEx are adding capacity. Everyone wants a piece of Asia-Europe freight lanes. The question is whether there's enough cargo to go around, or if this turns into a race to the bottom on pricing. The third risk is infrastructure dependency. Turkish Airlines is betting heavily on Istanbul Airport becoming a global cargo hub, but that requires more than just physical space. It requires customs efficiency, fast turnaround times, reliable handling, and seamless connections. If bureaucracy slows shipments, if ground handling can't scale, if customs creates bottlenecks, cargo customers will route through Frankfurt or Dubai instead. Freight forwarders are ruthless about reliability. One missed shipment and they'll switch carriers. There's also a political dimension. Turkey's economy has been volatile: inflation, currency fluctuations, interest rates. Turkish Airlines is majority state-owned. That means government policy affects everything from fuel costs to labor relations to route decisions. If political stability falters, or if Turkey's relations with major trading partners sour, cargo routes dry up fast. Still, Turkish Airlines has some advantages that are hard to ignore. Labor costs in Turkey are lower than Western Europe. That matters when you're competing with Lufthansa Cargo or Air France-KLM. Turkish Airlines can operate the same aircraft more cheaply. Fuel costs are roughly the same globally, but maintenance, ground handling, and crew expenses are lower. That's a competitive edge. The airline also benefits from sixth flight traffic. That's aviation speak for passengers or cargo flying between two countries via a third country hub. Someone shipping electronics from Seoul to Amsterdam might route through Istanbul because Turkish offers better rates or faster connections than a direct European carrier. Turkish Airlines has been using this model for passengers for years. Applying it to cargo makes sense. And unlike some flag carriers, Turkish Airlines has shown they can adapt. They expanded aggressively through the 2010s while legacy European carriers retrenched. They added destinations that competitors ignored. They built Istanbul into a genuine connecting hub. That operational experience matters. Running a cargo superhub requires the same skills: coordination across time zones, efficient ground operations, fast turnarounds. So what does success look like? If Turkish Airlines pulls this off, Istanbul becomes one of the top 5 cargo hubs globally. Turkish cargo revenue could double or triple over the next decade. The airline gains a revenue stream that's less cyclical than passenger travel. And Turkey positions itself as a logistics powerhouse, not just a tourist destination. But if it fails, Turkish Airlines could end up like so many airlines that overexpanded, saddled with debt, operating underutilized freighters, bleeding cash on routes that never reached projected volumes. The A380 graveyard is full of airlines that bet big on growth that never came. The difference is that cargo fundamentals look stronger than passenger fundamentals did in the 2000s. E-commerce isn't going away. Supply chains are diversifying. Companies want alternatives to China-centric manufacturing. Air freight will play a bigger role in global trade, not a smaller one. Turkish Airlines is also diversifying rather than doubling down on one bet. They're not abandoning passenger operations. They're not retiring their existing fleet to go all in on cargo. This is expansion on top of a stable base. That's smarter than what Thai Airways did with the A380, where they added a subfleet that cannibalized their existing network. The real test will come in 5 years. By then, the first wave of new freighters will be delivered. Istanbul's cargo infrastructure will be fully operational. We'll see whether volumes materialized, whether yields held up, and whether Turkish Cargo can compete profitably against Emirates and Qatar. Turkish Airlines has one thing going for it that many legacy carriers don't: urgency. European airlines are comfortable. They've been around for decades. They move slowly. Turkish Airlines still operates like a challenger. They're willing to take risks, move fast, and bet big. In cargo, that mentality might be exactly what's needed. The $100 billion question isn't whether Turkish Airlines can build cargo infrastructure. They can write the checks. The question is whether they can operate it profitably when everyone else is chasing the same cargo. That's where execution matters more than ambition. What do you think? Can Turkish Airlines actually pull this off, or is this another prestige project that'll end up parked in the desert? Drop your thoughts below. And if you want more deep dives into aviation economics and why airlines make the decisions they do, hit subscribe. The algorithm's already picked your next video, so check it out.